Zadondaney, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. Now, real quick, this is a two-part-ish video. Basically, the first half is going to be talking about my theories for for what's going to be happening with Union Cross, and then the second half is going to be for the newcomers. Now, don't worry, this theory thing is not going to be spoilerific, and more than likely, that game Union Cross might actually be a good place to start out. But the second half is going to be basically talking about everything that the newcomers need to know before they actually get into Kingdom Hearts, especially since now all of the games are coming to the computer on the Epic Games Store. Actually, they've all come out now, so if you're someone who's wanting to get them, then now is the time to do it. And the entire game is on PC. And I haven't checked it yet, but I'm pretty sure that the Epic Game Store is also on the Switch. So it's actually possible that all of the games are also there. I'm having somebody check that, so don't take my word for it. Now, if you do want to just skip ahead to my explanation of how you should play the games, then skip to the timestamp that I should have put down here. Okay? Good? We good? Everyone safe? Okay. Obviously, I'm going to keep this down here for anyone who just wants to skip if they start realizing, oh, this is going to be containing spoilers. So, yeah. Alright. Everyone who skipped ahead has skipped ahead? Okay, cool. So let's talk about Union Cross. And honestly, Union Cross has kind of always had a lot of issues. And I've talked about it before, about how the game is not really good. It's obviously had a lot of issues from the beginning, having a lot of similarities to games like Chain of Memories, which, let's be honest, most of the fans hate it. So, yeah, and pretty much most of the fans who play Union Cross mostly just play it because of the fact that there's story involved. And honestly, I think that most people who are currently playing it are probably now switching over to Dark Road because it's more interesting and more fun. What? No, I'm completely serious. Please actually take that seriously, because that is actually true. Dark Road is 1,000 times better than Union Cross. Now, there is a lot of issues with the game, like I said. But luckily what they're doing is they're taking it off basically they're ending their situation there. Basically what it sounds like you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to save your data from Union Cross, and that's basically going to make it so that your character stays the same every single time that you're going to be looking at the character. I think that there are still some possibilities that you'll still be able to do certain things in the game, because if they basically just made that entire portion of the game just cutscenes, I honestly don't think many people would enjoy it. I'm just saying. I think that there should still be something involved there, but I think having it be less involved actually makes a lot of sense. So, yeah. Um, but anyways, so that is what's currently happening. They're cutting it off, and you're going to be able to watch the cutscenes on your phone and be able to see all of Union Cross story just by going over to their side of the story. And more than likely, you will not have to actually have completed the game in order to do this, but instead you'll be able to watch all of the cutscenes no matter what you've done so far. I'm not 100% certain on that, but that makes the most sense to me. So anyways, with that all out of the way, now let's actually talk about what they can do in the future. Because I don't think that this is the end for Union Cross. The fact is, I've talked about it multiple times, and we all know that more than likely they are going to be remaking Union Cross to put it over into a better system, allowing it to be played on the other systems like the PS4, or I guess the PS5 now, the Xbox, and the Switch. As well as, more than likely, they are going to start doing a lot more stuff with the PC, so look forward to that. But basically, the game is going to be changing a lot. No longer relying on the aspects that you had before, and instead you'll be able to play the game in a new and better format. allowing you to basically choose how exactly you want to play the game. And well, not choose. Basically, you'll be able to play as Ephemer in a 3D version of the game that actually looks way better, and basically you'll be able to have all of the same story, and maybe some extra story that wasn't in the original game, with having a lot more of the abilities and stuff actually being more tied to the previous games, such as Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, all of that jazz. More than likely, this is going to use a similar style to what we saw in Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, but we can't really say for sure if that's actually true. So don't take my word for that. Instead, hopefully it will be more like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, but we don't know yet. So don't take my word for that it's going to be any specific system. But more than likely, we'll have to wait and see exactly how they're going to handle it. But I think that it's going to be a much better method. Also, I think that since you were able to save what your character looks like on the phone, I think that more than likely you'll be able to still transfer that data into the new game, allowing you to play as either format. You could play as the new character in Union Cross, or you can completely create a new character in the new game, or you can take your character from Union Cross and transfer it into this system so that it just looks better, and then you actually feel like it was you. This would more than likely only be an option for those who actually played the game when it originally came out. So we don't know for sure. More than likely, this game will not be announced or released until at least after Kingdom Hearts 4. Because we all know that there was only supposed to be one game between Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts 4, and that was Melody of Memory, which was not the best game. I will admit that. But, yeah. Anyways, guys, that's everything for Union Cross. So let's go over to the stuff for you newcomers. Everyone who's new to the series. Since many of you guys are coming in from the PC generation and looking to see exactly how exactly you're going to be playing the games moving forward. And obviously there are some difficulties. And if you actually look at the Twitters and stuff for all of their information, they haven't really been the best explanations. There's actually a few different ways that you could choose to play the game. The first way is chronologically. This is the way that most fans do not actually want you to do. Primarily because of the fact that in order to do that, you actually have to go through a lot of extra steps that are not very easy to handle. First off, you would have to play both versions of the phone game. You would have to play both Union Cross and Dark Road. And many fans do not recommend this, especially as your first game, because it is going to ruin you. So whatever you do, this is not the game to actually start with. Then you would go into Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 1, while also playing 0.2. Then, once Sora has become a Heartless, then you also need to start Days, and once you finish 1, you're still playing 1 as you're watching Days. Then once you finish 1, you start Chain of Memories, and then once you've completed Chain of Memories, then you go all the way through until you have completely completed Days. And there's kind of it's a really hard discussion to actually get that perfectly, so I'm not going to actually suggest that at all. And then pretty much after that, it's 2 coded, and then so on and so forth. It's not important. Like I said, I do not recommend that order. Instead, the order that most fans will actually agree on is release order. Now, this is not the best way either. Choosing to go this way is fine. It's okay. But basically how that would work is you would play Kingdom Hearts 1, then you would play Chain of Memories, then you would play 2, then you would play Days, then you would play Birth by Sleep. Honestly, I would put those in the other way because Days actually has some scenes that are kind of connected to Birth by Sleep. So I would actually suggest going with Birth by Sleep first and then Days, but it's a whole situation. I don't want to get into it. Next up, you would want to watch Coded. Right? Yeah. So watch Coded, then you play Dream Drop Distance, 0.2, and then back cover, then going into the phone game, but honestly just ignore the phone game because it's not helpful. Right now, we're putting the phone game to the side because it is a very different game. Play it when you're ready. And basically, you can pick it up whenever you want to. A good suggestion is to actually pick up the phone game whenever you feel like it and basically just go through the story however you want to differing degrees of how far you want to play it. So, yeah. So that's that. And then, like I said, Dream Drop Distance, 0.2, back cover. And then, once you have finished 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8, which that's the one collection, then you are going to play Kingdom Hearts 3, the most important game in the series because it concludes the Xehanort saga. After you have completed that, which a lot of people have because it is the biggest and most important game, do not start with that. Please, I am begging you, do not start with 3, whatever you do. But there's 3. Finished after that is the second to last one, and then finally Melody of Memory. That's a good option. Honestly, going in that order, aka the release order, many fans agree that's the best way to go about it. However, there are still problems with this method. Mostly because of the fact that you're going to have to do a lot of switching between the different games. It's not that big of a deal, but it can be a bit annoying. And on top of that, you would have to get both one. Well, actually, no, because 1.5 and 2.5 are in one collection. So never mind. You just have to get that one collection and then play through them, like I said, in Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories 2, Birth by Sleep Days, Coded, and then you would go into 2.8, which just play that in order. And finally, playing Kingdom Hearts 3, Melody of Memory, done. You're good. But here's what I would actually suggest. It's not the best system, but a lot of people actually agree that it is a good system, and that is play in order of explanation. So start off by getting 1.5 plus 2.5. Then play that in order of what they actually list. So that would be Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Days, Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, and finally Coded. Then pick up 2.8, play through Dream Drop Distance, 0.2, and finally finish off with Back Cover. And finally, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Melody of Memory, which are each in their own collections. So, yeah, that's all of them in order of how you can of how they have them in the system. And it works good. A lot of fans have actually agreed that that's one of the best methods to play it in. Release order is better, but at the same time, there are a lot of issues with the whole system, and it was hard to actually figure it out before. So, yeah. But then come the bigger issues. Are there actually better orders? And that is just random orders that have just come into my mind. Honestly, here's the thing. There isn't much of a better order than the standard order that's in 1.5 plus 2.5, then going through 2.8, and then so on and so forth. There's not much better. However, I do actually recommend one order above them, and that is to play Melody of Memory first. I know that's a weird statement to make, but hear me out. It goes over the entire story in a very quick and easy way to understand, while not necessarily hindering the player. Having that basic foundation may help out a lot of people, because a lot of people have issues with the story because of the fact that all of these different games have just confusing timelines. It's always been a problem. Everyone knows about it. And because of that, I actually recommend starting with Melody of Memory. Even though I hate the game with a passion, it has all of the story. I shouldn't say that I hate it. I don't actually hate the game, but it's not the same type of game as Kingdom Hearts for the rest of the series. So, me saying, hey, you should probably play Melody of Memory first and then play the others, it's a dangerous situation. Obviously, I do not actually recommend playing all the way through Melody of Memory. I actually recommend going through basically the entire game up to the Kingdom Hearts 3 section and then stopping. Having the rest, then once you've done all of that, then you go back and play through the other games in the order that is in the list, as it will give you a decent foundation to actually work on, as many fans have all agreed that Kingdom Hearts story is really complicated. Now, one last thing for everyone. If you plan to play through all of the games, do not play through Chain of Memories. I know that is a weird statement to make, but when I say do not play through it, it is not an understatement. Do not, under any circumstances, pick up the game and just go playing it. First off, that game is extremely complicated. It has a really bad system that many fans are not going to be able to, that many fans themselves do not like. No one likes this game. It is considered the worst Kingdom Hearts game, period. So do not, under any circumstances, pick up or play through Chain of Memories. Instead, here's what you do. You go on YouTube and you watch through all of the cutscenes. This is a long video, but there is a video that has all of the cutscenes all inside of it. So if you are going to be going through the story, when you get to the point where you are going to be playing Chain of Memories, instead of going into the game and playing through it, instead put it down, go to YouTube, search for Kingdom Hearts Re-Chain of Memories full scenes, all of the scenes, or I don't remember what all cutscenes is probably the best way of doing it, and watch that video. It is not extremely long compared to what you would be going through if you played through Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories has like maybe 2 hours of cutscenes. I don't think it's even that much. So, yeah. Meanwhile, if you are playing through the entire game, it will take upwards of 30 to maybe 40 hours to complete the game, because if you screw up anything in the story, you're going to have a lot of issues, on top of the fact that Chain of Memories requires 2 playthroughs. First off, you have to play through the Sora playthrough, and then you have to play through the Riku playthrough. It is not fun. So like I said, watch the cutscenes, and that's it. Also, Birth by Sleep. I do still recommend playing Birth by Sleep, 100%. It is a much better game. It is one of the best games in the series, but there are 2 ways that you can actually play through this. One is you go into the Kingdom Hearts wiki and you look up the chronological order of the actual game. Doing this is a bit of a pain, but it can be helpful. The other method is to go through the entire game 3 times for each character. It's exhausting. It's hard, but it can be a lot of fun. So you have to go through those the 3 main stories, each one you have to go through it once as each character. It's annoying, but trust me, bear through it. It's only about 30 hours. Yeah, each one is about 10 hours each, so you're good. After that, you are going to have to play through Aqua's story, which has 2 more segments. First is, I believe, the final episode, and then the secret episode. You have to play through both of these. If you forget to play through them, you're going to miss out on some very important cutscenes because they explain where Ventus is, all of that jazz. It also explains a whole bunch of just extra information that is really important. It also explains why Aqua is still okay after so long, because of the fact that she actually gets to talk to Yen Sid, and they never remade these cutscenes, which I am kind of disappointed that they didn't put them into the end of 0.2, because that's around the time that it actually happens. So, yeah, like I said, please play through the entire game. Also, be prepared. Those last two bosses for Aqua are really hard. So make sure that you actually get Aqua up to level 100 in your playthrough. She is the only one that you really want to make sure that you level her up all the way. Ventus and Terra, you don't really need to worry too much about them. Get them up to like 50, you'll be able to finish up their story. There is still some other extra stuff, but honestly, don't worry too much about that. You primarily just need to make sure Aqua's story gets filled, and you get all of her story, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the backside. Also, play Aqua's story last, if you're doing the whole play through each story one at a time, because her story ends last. So, yeah, there's that. And it also means that you'll be more willing to actually grind to get up to level 100. So, yeah. She's the only one that you really should make sure that you grind before you actually start up the secret episode and the last episode. I don't know the order. But, yeah. Also, make sure that you give her good abilities. Okay, I think that's everything. Dream Drop Distance is a bit of a pain, but don't worry about it. It's fun. It's still a lot of fun. Moving on. But anyways, guys, this was a long video, but I had to say all of it, because a lot of new fans are coming in, and it's important. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. And of course, if you do have any thoughts or theories, please leave them down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in a comment. And of course, another thing, I know that I already said to subscribe, but please, if you haven't subscribed, even if you're not new, please subscribe, because a lot of people are not subscribed to the channel who watch these videos. So please subscribe. It really helps us out a lot more than you think. And yeah, I'm missing something. No, I'm not. Okay. So yeah, do that. And then obviously, last but not least, if you guys do want to support the channel, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways you can support us financially, including our Patreon, which big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. And of course, make sure to check out the merch store and the book, because that stuff really helps us out a lot. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!